Hi there, Loren Crawford here, Yogi Loren. I'm here to share with you a side of yoga that gets very little press. So we know a lot about the fancy yoga poses, yoga classes, the physical aspects of yoga. But if we're living the yoga lifestyle, quote unquote, part of that includes systems outside of the physical yoga practice. So there's a whole system called Shad Karma, which is 6 cleansings that we do as part of the cleansing system to purify the body, the mind, so that we can arrive at the state of yoga. So remember, yoga is not just something you do, it's a way of being and it's a state that you arrive at. More on that later. So one of these cleansings that we do is cleansing the nasal passages. Jal Neti, it's called, or Neti Pot, we refer to it as. So you use a pot like this, about this size, and fill it with warm body temperature water and some salt. So it's a saline wash of the nasal passages. Now this isn't only to cleanse the mucus that's accumulated up there, the snot, but it's also to tonify the nasal tissues. And why is that important? So when we do this before practice and before meditation, the whole cleansing effect creates this clarity of mind. So it actually will help to take your meditation to a deeper level. So how do we do this? We start with some warm water. You want to get your water to a body temperature level. And this salt, so we're using non-iodized salt. This salt that I bought had a nice little scoop, so it's the appropriate size for my neti pot. You can read online, it'll say anywhere from 1/8 of a teaspoon. I think you actually need a little bit more than that. You kind of have to test it out to see the level of salt that you require. So as I'm filling up this pot with the water, I just shake it a little bit to dissolve the salt. And then when it's filled to the rim, just continue to shake a little bit more. And how do we do this? So I'll start with my left nostril. Bending over the sink, I always put my right hand on my back, just as a reminder to keep my back long and strong. And I'm going to start with the left nostril. So I bring my head down. I try not to drop my head. If I drop my head, then the water is going to accumulate in the sinus area, and that's not really helpful. So I keep my head slightly up. So insert in the left nostril, angle my head and lifting just slightly the pot. And then the water begins to flow through the right nostril. So if there's a lot of accumulation in there, a bunch of stuff will come out, that's okay. And I'm talking because I'm breathing through my mouth. So this could be a challenge for us the first couple of times. It's like, yes, breathe through your mouth as you're doing this. So I continue to let the saline water flow until I feel the weight of the neti pot reduce to about half of what it started at. When I'm there, I stop and I give a few little exhalations through the nose just to get any excess water out. And then I move to the other side, take my left hand to my lower back. Back is nice and strong. Head's not dropped, remember. So right nostril, angle the pot, the head, and then begin to let the water flow. Sometimes if there's inflammation in the nostrils, one side may be clogged. And I'll address that in an upcoming tutorial. We'll leave that for today. So just continuing to let the water flow until the pot is empty. That's great. And then when I'm done, just let the water release out. And then a few more pronounced exhalations. Turn your head to one side and the other. And that's really just to help get rid of any water that may be, saline solution that may be stuck in there. And then just release. So that's the technique of cleansing. And what you'll feel, especially the first few times, it's like this zinging sensation. It's like, wow, something really powerful has happened. The next thing I'm going to talk about is moisturizing the nostrils after doing that, especially if you're in a climate, winter climate, like here in Canada. You definitely don't want to forget this step. So you could just use something like sesame oil and rub it into the nostrils. But if you use a Nasia oil, so this is one that's offered by Banyan Botanicals, really great product. They're infused with herbs, and those herbs are specifically useful for that effect that we have of really opening up those inner channels, those channels that take us to a deeper meditation. So just a drop of oil on the tip of your finger, rub it. You don't need a lot. So rubbing it into the cleansed nostril, and then a few little snorts to get that nicely absorbed deeper. And then, of course, you can just dab off as necessary. We want to avoid too much use of the Kleenex because there's a lot of linty kind of fibers on the Kleenex. So the point is to get things cleansed. So you don't want to be like doing a lot of Kleenex work or tissue, I should say, work after your Neti Pot. So that's a basic tutorial. You would do this in the morning as part of your morning ritual. You get out of bed. I'll talk more about a morning ritual later in another episode, but get out of bed, cleanse bowels, cleanse your mouth, scrape your tongue, and then do the Neti Pot. And then you go to do your practice. So you get cleansed first before you go to the yoga mat. That's a part of the yoga tradition that's, again, not given a lot of press. So I hope that was helpful for you. Again, a Neti Pot, you can use a simple watering pot for flowers, a small one, obviously. Non-iodized salt. This is a special saline solution for Neti, but you don't need to get fancy. Just get a non-iodized salt from your grocery store. Again, oiling afterwards, just some sesame oil, good organic quality sesame oil. Yes, the eating kind, the kind you would make your salads with. Or if you're so inclined, an osea oil from one of the herbal providers. Yes, and so I think that's it. Warm water, so body temperature water. So I hope that was helpful for you and informative. Give it a try. The first time or two, it can be a little bit kind of crazy, but just calm and breathe through your mouth and you'll be fine. Namaste. Have a fabulous rest of your day.